In the far reaches of the ancient world, beyond the well-mapped borders of the Roman Empire, lay a rugged land of mist, mountains, and warriors who refused to bend their knee. The Romans called it Caledonia. Today, we know it as Scotland. This is the secret history of Rome's darkest and most mysterious frontier. A battleground where legions vanished, walls rose and fell, and a hidden war unfolded far from the eyes of the empire. When Julius Caesar first heard tales of the lands north of Britannia, he dismissed them as myth, a cold wilderness filled with painted warriors. But by the 1st century AD, Rome's ambitions expanded. Emperor Claudius secured southern Britain, yet the north resisted fiercely. Reports reached Rome describing united tribes under the name Caledonia. Unknown to Rome, these tribes used secret networks of hidden passes, forest routes, and signaling systems with smoke and horn calls. They could communicate across mountains faster than disciplined Roman columns could march. The Romans underestimated them, and that mistake would cost them dearly. In 77 AD, Rome sent one of its greatest generals, Gnaeus Julius Agricola. Official records say he marched north, built forts, and pushed deeper into Scotland. But beneath the surface, a covert war unfolded. Agricola's scouts disappeared. Roman supply lines were cut in the night. Forts were attacked with perfect timing. How? Through Caledonian spies who studied Roman marching patterns, camp structures, and daily routines. Traitors captured deserters, and sympathetic Britons carried information back to the tribes. This was Rome's first true experience of Scottish guerrilla warfare, and it would haunt the empire for generations. Tacitus, Agricola's son-in-law, wrote about a great Roman victory at Mons Graupius in 83 AD. But archaeological evidence suggests something different. No mass graves have been found. Many Roman forts were abandoned soon afterward. The truth is that while the Romans may have won the open battle, they lost the war in the shadows. The Caledonians refused to surrender. They melted into forests and mountains, continuing ambushes, night raids, and scorched earth tactics. Agricola's campaign became too costly and too uncertain. Rome quietly withdrew many northern positions after he left. In 122 AD, Emperor Hadrian ordered the construction of a massive wall stretching 73 miles across Britain. Officially, it was built to separate Romans from the barbarians. But its deeper reason was fear. The Caledonians' unpredictable warfare had shaken Rome. Hadrian's wall was not only a barrier, it was a surveillance system with lookout towers every 500 meters, patrol routes, fire signal stations, and hidden storerooms for weapons. No other European people forced Rome to build such a defensive structure. Scotland was unlike any frontier the empire had faced. One of the greatest mysteries of Roman history surrounds the 9th Legion, Legio Nona Hispana. A full legion disappeared from records around the early 2nd century. Some historians believe it was transferred elsewhere, but others think the truth lies in Scotland. Fragmented accounts from later Roman officers speak of a legion ambushed in the northern wilderness. Cohorts wiped out and standards lost. The ultimate Roman shame. If the 9th Legion was destroyed in Caledonia, Rome may have erased the records to hide the humiliation. Meanwhile, Scottish oral tradition speaks of a massive southern army swallowed by mist and never returning. When Emperor Antoninus Pius pushed north in 142 AD, Rome built a second wall, the Antonine Wall, deeper into Scotland. But this wall survived only 2 decades. The Caledonians responded with relentless harassment. They fought without committing to full battle, slowly bleeding the Romans with ambushes, burning supply depots, cutting communication lines, and raiding outposts. Roman forts along the wall show signs of sudden abandonment and destruction. The campaign became unsustainable, and the Romans retreated to Hadrian's Wall. It was a quiet but undeniable acknowledgement that the north could not be held. The Caledonians had no heavy armor, no siege machines, and no disciplined formations. Their true power came from the land itself. Dense forests blocked Roman cavalry. Swamps slowed legionaries until they became easy prey. Mountains provided perfect ambush positions. Fog concealed entire armies. Caledonian warriors knew hidden paths through bogs, glens, and ridges. Their hill forts sat on heights that cost too many Roman lives to storm. Some Roman commanders wrote that the land itself seemed to fight alongside its people. Caledonia was unconquerable because it refused to become predictable. Around 208 AD, Emperor Septimius Severus launched one of the largest invasions Scotland had ever faced, bringing over 40,000 troops. He expected swift victory. Instead, he encountered the same ghostly resistance. Secret reports described sabotaged roads, poisoned wells, scouts disappearing in the woods, supply caravans burned to ash, and hidden traps killing soldiers and horses. Severus, enraged, ordered a brutal campaign intending to destroy entire tribes. But the environment, illness, and endless guerrilla attacks broke his armies. Tens of thousands of Romans died, not in glorious battle, but in a war of attrition against an enemy they could barely see. Severus himself died in York, defeated not by swords but by exhaustion and the impossible nature of the Caledonian frontier. By the late 3rd century, Rome made a final decision. Scotland was not worth the blood of its soldiers. The empire never conquered the Caledonians. They never broke the tribes, never secured the highlands. Hadrian's wall became more than a border. It became the symbol of Rome's limit. Beyond that line lay a land the Romans could not tame. Official history softened the truth, but the reality was simple. The people of ancient Scotland won their freedom not with massive armies, but with secrets, shadows, and relentless resilience. Over time, the Caledonians evolved into the people known as the Picts. Their carved stones and symbols still stand today, mysterious and undeciphered. Their reputation as fierce, independent warriors shaped the identity of Scotland for centuries. Their guerrilla methods echoed in later Scottish victories against Vikings and English armies. Rome eventually collapsed under its own weight, but the tribes of the north endured. Their hidden war, fought through fog and forest, became a silent triumph, a victory that outlived the greatest empire the world had ever known.